All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday, May 27th. We got game number 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. In today's video, I'm going to dive into this Pacers and Knicks game. I'm going to give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye down on the pinned comment of this video. That'll take you to all of my final plays. If that does interest you, what I'm actually rolling with myself, all that down in the pinned comment. All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I tell you guys I'm a dummy all the time. They don't suck. They've just been sucking. Get them down to -3 for more juice than Jose Canseco in his prime. Tell me you're new without telling me you're new. So don't go jumping down my throat in the comments, right? If you want to fade me, or if you do want to ride me, this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? And remember, more chins, more wins. Yesterday was a decent one. Our same game parlay that we posted over on social was the only one that did not come through, but we had a full unit on the Thunder money line, and we have not tossed out a full unit play in these playoffs very regularly. You know what I mean? Pretty damn rare. We also had Holmgren's under 8.5 rebounds for a half unit. That cashed. So you know what? We'll take a nice little cha-ching there. Guys, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well. Hopefully we can keep that momentum rolling into game number 4 here. We had a good game number 4 in the West. Let's take it over to the East here. Right now, Pacers 2.5 point favorites. That totals at 220.5. Pacers up 2-1 in this series. The Knicks end up taking that game in game number 3, right? And honestly, that third quarter was what did it. They won that, the fourth quarter is what did it. They kind of started to look like they were taking that lead in the third quarter, and they did win the third quarter, but only like a margin of 3. But then they won the fourth quarter by 16 points, which is kind of what we saw the Knicks do against the Celtics every single win, right? So where do we go from a spread perspective in this one? I do like the idea of the Knicks as a dog, but it's like splitting hairs. If I were to see that Indiana was plus 120 on the money line or something like that, then that might be something that I start to consider as well, because I think these two teams that we've shown and seen that they're pretty damn evenly matched. One game goes to overtime. The next game is decided by 5 points. The next game is, a Knicks come from behind win, 6-point win. So these two teams are very, very close. I like having the plus 2.5 in my back pocket, or even the plus money on the money line. And the reason being is that first game and then game number 2, we saw Indiana shoot some really, really good percentages from the floor, right? It was over 50% from the floor, over 40% from 3. If you do that, obviously you're going to have a pretty damn good time throughout your season. You're going to have a lot of success and all that, right? In game number 3 there, we saw them drop down to 44% from the floor, which is a little bit more normal, 20% from 3, which is tough. I don't think they shoot that bad again, but I don't think that they return to the 50 and 40. That seems a little extreme. And we finally have seen the Knicks kind of find their fastball in a sense. 45% from the floor, mid to high 30s from 3 in terms of percentage. So if water finds its level, I do think the Knicks can even this one out 2-2, and which would be pretty crazy, because the Pacers win 2 in New York and the Knicks come into Indiana and win 2. You gotta love it when that happens in series. So I do just think that the value today is on the Knicks side of things. I think their defense, we're going to start seeing it step up a little bit. Like, had that game not gone to overtime, their defense, or I guess even the fourth quarter, their defense looked pretty good in that game number 1, right? They made stops when they needed to, and then all of a sudden the Pacers said, no, we don't go away that easy. In game number 2, they only allow, 114? In game number 3, Pacers struggled to get to 100 points because of them missing shots. Now, I'm not going to put it all on New York's defense. The Pacers missed a lot of shots in the fourth quarter, right? But to some degree, we can give some credit there. And I do think if defense, push comes to shove, I think we know which team truly has the better defense here. We got a bunch of guys that can do that on the Knicks side of things. So, yeah, I'm going to lean towards the Knicks. And I also, for the first time now, I'm going to lean under. I'd wait this one out if you like the under with me, though. Looks like that line is moving up and up. It seems like it's kind of crazy. I get it. It's the Pacers at home. They're going to want to run, blah, blah, blah. I have a feeling this Knicks defense, like I've already mentioned, is going to kind of come through. And the Pacers, I don't believe they can continue what they did in games 1 and 2, and then a bunch of the games against Cleveland of their scoring, and their percentages. Like, this team, again, money today might be on the Knicks in terms of my wallet. I'm rooting for the Pacers. I love the underdog. No one seems to believe that this team is a legit contender and all that, and they're finally getting some notoriety, right? Like, do we forget where they finished last year? Do we forget how good that they've played and the teams that they've beat? So I'm rooting for the Pacers, but breaking it down, I think it's Knicks for me today as well as the under. Now, before we do jump into a couple player prop spots that I am liking today, I want to talk to you guys about Prize Picks. It is Taco Tuesday over on Prize Picks, meaning they're going to discount some squares throughout the day. Make sure to go ahead and sign up, guys. Use code GUYBOSTON or use the link in the description as well as the pinned comment of this video. That'll auto-apply the code, meaning you will get the Taco Tuesday promos, but you'll also get the play $5 as a new customer. Get 50 instantly. You 10x that $5 entry. If that entry hits, you get that payout as well. So you're going to have a nice little bankroll over there on Prize Picks. Go ahead and check it out. I'm sure you've seen Prize Picks all over. You've contemplated, should I sign up? Is it that great? Is it that great? It is fun. It is easy. It is simple. Great interface whether you're on the computer or the phone. Go ahead and check it out today, guys. Again, a $5 entry, you're going to get $50 in promo funds. You can throw in $5 and you'll have 10x that to play around with and make up your own mind if you like the app or not. So check it out. Link down below in the description as well as the pinned comment. Let's talk about a couple player props here. So first and foremost, let's start with two unders that I like on the Indiana side of things. I like Pascal Siakam under 19.5 points. We've seen them the Knicks be very, very good against wing offensive players here. I mean, Jaylen Brown, even Tatum to some degree in some of those games, right? So yes, I do think that Pascal Siakam, 20 points is asking a lot from him. He's averaged, I guess if we exclude the 39 game that he had against them, right? And what game was that? That was in game number 2, right? If we exclude that one, he's still averaging under this line, but 12, 14, and this is dating back to this season, right? The beginning of the year. 12, 14, 24, 17, 39, 17. So only 2 of those games he's gone over, one of which being in the series, and he shot 3 of 5 from 3 and 65%, 15 of 23 from the field that game. So I don't necessarily sit here and think that he's going to go and do that. I don't mind him shooting 50% from the field, maybe making 1-3. Still would have stayed under this line had he done that, in games 1 and 2, which he did. So Siakam under 19.5 points is something that I'm considering. And I'm also thinking about taking a peek at Nesmith. He'd been shooting the lights out of the ball from 3, 50%. I think he shot, 8 of 9 in that game that they came back in game 1. I don't think Aaron Nesmith has that on lock, right? Like at some point, like we saw last game, 1 of 3 from 3, 2 of 8 from the floor. He's playing a lot of minutes, which does worry me just a little bit. But I do still think that under 11.5 points could be a decent look from him. This Knicks team will allow some points at the rim, but he's going to prioritize the 3-ball, which he has throughout the playoffs. So I like the idea of them not letting them beat him. I will just say this. If I had to pick one of the two, I'd probably say Siakam because it's a higher line and there's more wiggle room, right? Secondarily, that Tibbs and the rest of the Knicks team are thinking, let's stop Siakam before we stop Nesmith, right? So there's going to be more focus on Siakam. And I think the Anunoby and Hart and those types of matchups kind of bode well for him. My I guess a little caution in the wind would be the fact that if the Knicks go really big and like Towns is, or hell, maybe even Robinson is on Siakam at some point, I think that they could kind of get going. But overall, I don't necessarily think that that's going to be the biggest of deals in general. Do you know what I mean? Like Josh Hart will still play a lot of minutes and everything like that. But we definitely have seen that they switch to a big man lineup, Robinson and Towns starting, and then they win game 3. Wouldn't be surprised if they go to that again. On the other side of things, I kind of like the idea of Jalen Brunson having a big game. He's coming off a 23-point game in a win. And, 43 and 36. I've been saying this all year. Knicks fans, you guys were jerks to me. I was like, the Knicks are better when Brunson is going for like 25 and passing the ball as well, right? Now he only had, 2 assists in game 3, so I guess I can't sit here and say that. But when Brunson scores 40, I don't think the Knicks are as good as when he scores, 28 and has 6 dimes and that type of thing. We saw that in game 3, but that if push comes to shove, he's going to get all the shots. He's going to get the ball, and I think that this could be a good spot for him to have a decent game. Now, his threes are what I started to look at, over 2.5 for plus money. I do like that. If we look at him head-to-head against the Pacers, though, not exactly the best. He's been really getting into the paint, and the Pacers, as we know, are a good perimeter defense, but that's still kind of where my mind is going. So I'm still workshopping where to look at Brunson, but yeah, it's going to be points under and points under for Siakam and points under for Nesmith. And then Brunson, maybe a same game parlay where he needs to score 20 and hit 2 threes, something like that in general. But yeah, guys, it's going to wrap it up for today's show. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below as well. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.